his computer. Perfect. All right. Well, welcome you guys to the Hub Team training on this Monday evening. Super excited to have you guys here. And if you're catching the recording, as always, thank you so much. Jill and I are just super excited with how the Hub is going so far, and we are just ready to continue to move things forward. So I just posted a poll, and you guys, the number one thing that popped up like right away was how to share the coaching opportunity. So we're going to hop into that. I'm going to share my screen as well. And if you are hopping on, just make sure you are muted so there isn't that weird alien sound it always sounds like. And I want to know, can I, yes, oh, you don't need my inbox. Sorry, present. Okay. You guys can see this, right? Fabulous. All right. So first of all, we always like to do just a little bit of some recognition at the beginning so we can see all the top rock stars right now. And this was as of, I think yesterday is when we kind of looked at the downline. So if you're like, I have more than that, you might, but this was from yesterday. But shout out to Holly right now, who is already at Success Club. Like, seriously, homegirl literally crushed it within the last few days. Like, amazing. And then all the other names you see right there already helping at least one person. So way to go. We're super proud of you guys. It is, my gosh, the 11th. So we are about a third of the way through the month. So if you think about like the goal you set for Success Club, you should be 1/3 of the way there. Right? Technically is how it should be. And if you're not there, that just means we need to hustle a little bit harder moving forward here. But something that we also wanted to throw in this week was a volume update and just a little, I don't know, informational volume if you're not too familiar with it. Basically, volume does equate dollars. It doesn't mean like Jill raked in $2,557 last week. Maybe she did. But basically, volume is when you are having retention, when you are helping your clients and your coaches continue to, you know, order the products and see success, you are getting volume points. And when you hit that 1,000 mark, you're doing really well. So mad shout out again to Holly up there for hitting over that 1,000, and Amanda is super close. And basically this is really where you are going to see consistency in your income every single week. When you can have a consistent volume of 1,000 plus, 1,500 plus, you are going to be seeing that income growth and that income consistency. So just think about it. The more people that you're helping every single month and the more people that you have that are consistently ordering, like that's where things are really going to take off for you. So shout out to everyone that's on this board. We added everyone who was over 500. So awesome job to all of those names up there. We are very proud of you all. So with that being said, we don't really have any announcements. All the announcements we've kind of been putting in the Hub anyway. So we're just going to dive right into today's topic. So sharing the coaching opportunity. Now, these are just my tips and tricks, things that I have learned over the years of being a coach and things that I have seen other people do, whether I've implemented them myself or not. So write things down, and I'm going to talk about like always trying new things because that is so important in your business. So what I'm saying is something that I've tried before or something that I want to try, and it's always going to be something that we are growing in our business. So with hosting a sneak peek or webinar, whatever it is, always have some sort of goal in mind before you go into it. So basically, you need to think, how many coaches am I hoping to get out of this? And I say that because if you want to have 4 coaches that you sign up, if that's your goal, let's say 1 in 10 people actually sign up. So that means you need to have at least 40 people in your sneak peek, your webinar, whatever it is that you're hosting. So that means, okay, you need to send 400 invites. Like, you need to understand the numbers behind it so that you are going to be able to get those coaches that you're going into the sneak peek with signing up. So think about your goal. The backward design is exactly like I just explained. If you need 4 coaches, you need 40 people in there, you need to send out 400 invites. So it's a lot. And so just know that it does take a lot of hard work in the beginning stages as well. Also think about how much time can you dedicate to recruiting, because if you know it's a busy week coming up, but you know you need to host a sneak peek because you need to add coaches to your team, you need to hit Success Club, whatever it is, think about how much time you can dedicate, because if you can't spend a lot of time sending out those 400 invites, you might start thinking of other options, which I'm going to talk about in a second. So think about the time that you have as well. Those are kind of just two important things at the backhand before you even run your sneak peek or webinar that I want you guys to think about. Step number 2 is decide the method. So I threw out a couple of words here. Webinar is basically a one-day live video. And this can be something you do by yourself. It can be something you host with one other person, 2 other people. Jill and I have done one before. Jill McKenzie and I have done one before. Once you get to more than 2 people, it does get a little tricky unless you know how to do a Zoom live on your Facebook, which is something I am still trying to figure out. But basically, it's when you share all the goods all in one day. We try to keep it under 40 minutes was our goal, just because we don't want to go over that hour mark, because that's where, I mean, you're going to start to lose people. And you don't want to be overly sharing everything anyway. So keeping it to 30 to 40 minutes is a really good idea if you're thinking about doing a webinar. A sneak peek, there's so many different options. You can do 1 to 5 days. It can be recorded videos or it could be live. If you're doing a 1 day, that means you're going to have multiple videos planned out throughout the day, whether those are recorded or live. If you go up to 5 days, obviously you have maybe 1 video a day. And it really is up to you how you're going to divide your time, divide those videos. And it does take, you know, trying things, seeing how it works, trying other things. I used to just only do 3 days, 3-day sneak peeks, but I recently switched to 2 days. And I feel like maybe that's working better for me, but what might work for me might not work for you. So again, it's something that you're going to have to keep trying. Another thing that I heard about recently, which I've never done, is actually hosting your sneak peek on your stories or on your Instagram live. I was talking to my success partner, Kinsley, about this, and it was actually brought up in a diamond training I was at that I think Bonnie Engel, she's a top coach, actually does her sneak peeks right on her IG story. She kind of just shares all the goods in little snippets. Maybe it was on an IG live, but that's another way that you can share the opportunity with people, besides doing that, you know, every single day, which I'll talk about later. But even kind of posting a sneak peek that way might be something that could be another option for you if you decide that the Facebook groups just aren't your thing. So again, trying new things to see what works for you. Step number 3 is to plan your start date. So I put this in here because you're like, well, duh, Allison, I know that I need to start at some point, but you need to make sure that your night that you are finishing up your sneak peek is completely open after, because that's where you're going to get a lot of people, you know, asking you questions. That's where you're going to get a lot of people who are excited to register, hopefully. And even the following days, make sure that you're not like going on vacation or something like that, because you want to be available to these people to answer their questions right away. Because thinking about when you started, if let's say that you were in my sneak peek and I was totally MIA the next few days, you'd be like, never mind, I don't want to do this. Like, she's not going to be here for me. So you just want to make sure that you're not letting people wait around for you. You are there to answer their questions right away so that they know when they do join your team, you are going to be there for them right away whenever they do need it. Step 4 is decide how you're going to get your prospects. So this is, I was kind of talking about this in the beginning, and I forgot to add something in here. I'll just tell you guys. So mass personal messaging. If you have more time rather than money, this would be your option. Again, you need to plan ahead though. You need to start inviting a week in advance, if not more. Well, maybe not more, because you don't want to have people waiting around for your sneak peek too long. But if you are just doing the mass personal messaging, again, the backward design, how many messages do you need to get out there every single day to get these people in there? Shout outs. This is another option. And there are different IG pages that do shout outs, and you know that they will do them if in their bio there's something that says KIK, K-I-K. Basically, that's kind of just another way to communicate with people. And one page that I've used a lot is Healthy Minute Meals. Another one I forgot to put in here is How to Meal Prep, how number 2 meal prep. Jill can type it in the chat. But basically what happens is you pay these people money, and for an hour or 2 hours, they will post your ad on their page. After that hour or 2 hours is up, once, you know, however long you decided with them, they'll take it down. So basically during that hour and 2 hours, you are literally on your phone. Reason being is the second somebody puts their email on there, you're going to want to message them right away saying, hey, thanks, I got your email. Check for an email soon. Because that post is going to go away after that hour or 2. Now, this really, really, really worked well. I don't know, 6 months ago, a year ago. However, I've been finding that it kind of stopped working, at least in my experience. I know Jill's too, in Kinsley's experience, we just haven't been getting as many people out of it. I have not done a shout out since last fall, to be honest, just because I wasn't seeing the traction that I used to see. And I will also say that, yeah, it is very hit or miss. I will also say that when Jill and I were at New Leadership Conference, the 4 top coaches that were there, we talked about them before, they say they have never done a shout out. They've never done, I don't know if it was an ad, but they've never done shout outs. And so it is something that if you haven't tried before, maybe try it out, but just know, like, you can fork out $100, $150 to do this and not get much in return, which is disappointing. However, you live and learn, and you know, okay, maybe mass messaging is more so my thing. But it was something that used to work. I want to say it kind of became oversaturated just because a lot of people were using, especially these 2 pages that I shared. There might be more out there. I honestly just haven't found another one. But again, it is something to look into. Instagram ad. This is, I would say, more so where more coaches are going right now. And this is something that you do have to play a lot around with. I have not had much success with it, only because I realized I was promoting it the wrong way. And I was actually talking with Francesca about this today. Promoting your ad when you're on Instagram, there's a promote button as long as you have a business page. So in order to have an Instagram ad, you have to have a business page, which if you don't have one, that's a whole other topic. You can Google it and make yourself a business page. But once you hit that promote button on Instagram, that is when it will take you to kind of different options of the people that you want to see, how much money you want to spend, and things like that. A couple of tips that I have learned is actually not to promote it on Instagram. It's actually to promote it through your business page on Facebook. This is something that Mickey Boker, a coach on Team Uproar, has suggested, and it's worked so much better for her, is to promote it through Facebook. It doesn't actually promote it to your Facebook. It promotes it on Instagram. And so when you're like looking at how much you're spending, this freaked me out for a few times. I was like, I did not spend money on Facebook, but on your bank account, it's going to say you spent X amount of dollars on Facebook when really it was for your Instagram ad. But you want to promote it through Facebook. I don't know why. That's just kind of like the whole algorithm thing, just something that someone found out and was telling everyone else to do. Also with this though, it is very finicky, and Francesca was having troubles with hers today because when you promote it, you sometimes get a message back saying that Instagram won't promote it for you. They say it was discriminatory or I don't know that word. Can't say it right now. But and I don't know what words we took out of Francesca's today, but I know some people have used like girl, girlfriend, babe, and those words are whatever, leaving men out. I don't know. There's some weird things like that. Even if you have like help wanted in there, if you use the word income or money, sometimes they won't promote it that way. So again, there's so many things you have to just play around with when you're doing it. Those are a couple other tips. There was, oh gosh, what was my other one? If I think of it, I'll come back to it. But Instagram ads are, kind of a thing you would need to play around with. Oh, this is what I was thinking of. When you are promoting it, this is going to maybe freak you out, but you want to promote it for like $400, $500. Do you have to spend that amount of money? No, you can stop the ad at any time, but you do need to keep track of it. So keep going back and looking. When at the dollar amount, it tells you, it updates it, I don't know, every few hours how much you've spent. So for me, what I've done in the past is I said my max I want to spend is $500, but I only let it go to $100. Once it got to that $100 mark, I quit the ad. And so you can do that at any time, but the more money that you say you're investing in it, the more that Instagram is going to boost it forward to other people's pages. The other thing with that, oh my gosh, I literally keep forgetting. Oh, thank you. Francesca actually just wrote it. For the days, you would think that having it for a longer period of time, such as 5 or 6 days, would be a good thing, so it's going to be out there longer. But in reality, what that means is Instagram is seeing, okay, she's going to promote her post for 5 days. That means I don't have to push it out to that many pages, every single day, because I have 5 days to do it. So not as many eyes are going to see it. So you actually want to promote it for 1 or 2 days, because it pushes it out to more people's pages right away. So those are just a lot of things that I have learned. Obviously, you want to set it so that it's only reaching people in the US, UK, and Canada, because that's only where we are right now. The age limit you can have on there, if you want to do 18 plus or 20 plus, whatever is kind of the people, your target audience. So those are just some things. There's so many other things on Instagram ads, but that's not the whole point of this call, so I'm going to move on. Another way to do it is your Instagram stories. And this is something that can just be super, super simple. I literally am hosting a sneak peek this Wednesday, Thursday. So I went in my Instagram stories and I just kind of shared 5 little Instagram stories about this sneak peek that I'm hosting, what it's all about, and hey, vote on my poll if you want more information. From there, people will vote. You can message them, say, hey, girl, I don't know if that was by accident or if your cat touched the button, but I wanted to invite you to my sneak peek. Super easy way to invite people, less intimidating if you don't want to do an ad or a shout out or things like that. You can also, besides just talking into the camera, you can create really cute things with different apps, such as the Story app, or what are the other ones? You guys can type them in the chat if you think. Unfold, and just create cute little graphics, kind of explaining what you do as a fitness coach, all the things that you've experienced, and then have a poll after that if you don't want to talk into the camera. Like, there's so many different options out there, but I would say always, always, always promote it on your stories every single time, whether or not you are doing a boosted post or a shout out or whatever it is. Always do it on your Instagram stories, because you're going to get more eyes on you that way, and more people are going to see your stuff. And it is super, super easy. And it just is just another way that you guys can share that you are open for adding people to your team. Continued. Make sure if you are doing a boosted post or you are posting on your Instagram, which you should, your help wanted posts are clean and crisp pictures. You don't want them to be things that are fuzzy. And I will tell you, my very first one I ever made, it was super funny. I took this picture. It was so grainy because I was trying to make the background white. I sent it to Jill. I'm like, how does this look? And bless her soul, she's like, oh gosh, it's a little grainy. And I was like, oh my God, it totally is. And I thought it was like the cutest picture ever. Did I get anything out of it? No. So I don't know if you remember that, Jill. I saw the picture the other day and I was like, dear Lord. So just make sure, like, you are a business. You want to attract people who want to run a professional business alongside you. So just make sure it looks professional. Also make sure you're letting them know where they should be directed to take action. Are they going to email you directly? Are they going to send you a DM? Are they going to comment below with their favorite emoji? Make sure that they know that, so that they're not confused. If they don't know what to do, they're not going to do anything. So just make sure you tell them what you want them to do. And then from there, send them an email with details about the webinar or sneak peek that you're hosting. I've done a couple different things with this, and I'm going to share with you guys my email that I send. However, I have in the past just directly sent them the link, because I was finding that there was I don't know the right word, but a separation of people who wanted the email. I sent them the email, but then they never joined the group. Whereas if I just sent them the link, they had it right there in front of them in their DM. So again, things to play around with, so many different ways. I like getting the email, so I have it so I can follow up with them. If they didn't want to join right away, I can send them an email down the road. But again, something that you need to kind of figure out what's going to work best for you. So I did say, oh, hold on, I'll get to that, I guess. So here are some examples of ads or posts that you can do. I literally posted this one on the left today. And in the middle is Mandy Kai's. I love hers because she has like 2 pictures in there. I'm still trying to figure out how to do that. And then Jill's is super cute because it shows like, look at, we're traveling. Look what I get to do as an online fitness coach. And I will say in the past, the wording was always help wanted. But that I feel like was getting shut down by, not shut down, but the ads wouldn't boost. And a lot of people were using the words help wanted. So aspiring fitness influencers, aspiring influencers is kind of the way that things are going. So you can use that. You can try the help wanted. There's so many different options. I know people have been like expanding my girl gang or whatever it is. But just you don't want a lot of text on there, because I also know that if you're going to boost it, the algorithm don't really like a lot of text on the pictures. So keep it simple, but make sure the pictures are clean and crisp and it looks pretty cute. All right, so this I just added in here so you guys can see just an example of what an email template is. I'm pretty sure I'm going to give credit 100% here to Jill. I might have reworded things, but this probably is something that Jill sent me back in the day. And I don't know if I really want to sit here and read it for you guys, but basically you want to use their name as much as possible without like going overboard, just that they know you are personally speaking to them, that you want them in the group. It's not like a hey girl, hey girl, hey girl. You're talking to this specific person. And then I always let them know how long the sneak peek is going to be, if it's going to be live, if it's going to be recorded videos, the day that it starts. And then I kind of just share a little bit about, what we're going to be doing, how you can do it too. If you can't make it live, just make sure to watch the videos ASAP because the spots are limited. And then I always highlight the actual link for them to join, because a lot of people might not read all the words, but if they see, oh, that's where the Facebook group is, I'm going to add myself right away. And then I always just let them know that we're going to do a little intro post, so they're going to be able to introduce themselves as well, because we're going to be talking about our story. So it's nice to get to know them. And from there, hopefully they join the group, and then you begin your sneak peek. But this is just, if you do the email way, this is kind of something I use to do that. Otherwise, you can just directly send them your Facebook link if that's what you're doing. So step 5 is getting people actually into your Facebook group. So make sure you have your group ready to go before you invite. Obviously, you're going to want to make sure that you have a professional Facebook cover. You don't want to slap something together. Try not to use Google Images. Try to use something that you made, because it is your business. It is, your brand. You're going to want to manage the settings, and with that, you can ask questions before they get into the group. If you're hosting with another person, it's super nice to have in there who invited you to this group, so you can keep track of whose person is whose person. You want to change the URL so it looks more professional, because if it's just the facebook.com/group/billions of numbers, it doesn't look as good as Team Arise Coaching Sneak Peek or Team Breakthrough Sneak Peek or whatever it is. It just looks a little bit better when it has your brand, your name in there. So make sure you look at all of the settings so that it kind of just fits for you and your brand. And then something I've learned is don't accept requests of people in until you're ready to go. I usually tell people when I'm messaging them, hey, we're going to officially add people on Tuesday. The group starts Wednesday, just FYI. So they're not adding themselves on Sunday and being like, why haven't I been accepted? And the reason being is, that way you have everything ready to go. You can make sure you're completely planned and it's not just slapped together and thrown together. So just something else that you can think about. And then something I've learned and tried so many different things about is, do I start a new group every single time I'm hosting a new sneak peek or webinar, or do I keep the same one? It used to be start a new one. Then it was keep the same one. Then it was start a new one. And what I'm doing right now is keeping the same one. And once it gets to maybe there's 200, 300 people in there, I'll start a new one. And reason being is because a lot of those people maybe miss the actual sneak peek, and if you keep them in there, they might catch the next one. It also just looks like more people are interested. It kind of gives that sense oh my gosh, there's so many people that are interested. I need to make sure that I'm watching these videos right away and I'm signing up that this is what I want to do. But once you get to that 200, 300 mark, I've actually had people message me and say, there's so many people in this group that I kind of felt like another number. And that was oh, okay, that's not my goal. So again, something to play around with, continue to use the same group until you hit a certain number, and then maybe start a new one. So this was I just threw an example. This is my current cover photo that I have for my sneak peek right now. It's super simple. Kinsley and I are doing it together. So we have pictures of us, we have our team name, and our names. Step 6 is preparing your script. And so this is just kind of the method that I've used, how I've ran my sneak peeks, with my scripts and everything. So first I will do an introduction post, and this is just going to be a simple graphic that says introduce yourself or whatever it is. And then I will have them say their name, where they're from, what they do, why they wanted to be in the group, and a fun fact about themselves or something like that, and then have them share a picture. And this is just for us to get to know them, but all the other people in the group, these could be your potential coaches, and having them interact with each other, it just shows the sense of community and it makes it more fun. So I usually do that the day before in the morning, at early afternoon. And then that evening, I will actually post up, and I didn't even put this in here, I will actually post up an agenda so they know when the live videos are happening or when the videos are going to go up so they can be ready. And I have an example of that I'll show you guys after the slide. But those are kind of the things I do the day before the sneak peek. You can also do a really quick 3-minute live video just saying, welcome to the group. We're so excited to have you. Here's what you need to look forward to, blah, 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 so that they see your face right away. It's up to you. But then in the beginning, so if I'm doing a 2-day, I'm just going to talk about a 2-day because that's what I'm doing this week. So Wednesday noon, Kinsley's going to share her transformation, her story, how she got started, what it's done for her, all those types of things. We try to keep the videos to about 10 minutes. 10 to 12 minutes is usually a really good range, just because if you're doing 3-4 videos, it gets to be a lot. You don't want to overwhelm them. So sharing your story in 7 to 10 minutes might even be better. And then I'm going to share mine that evening. And the reason that we're both doing it is because we're hosting it together. We both have honestly totally different stories, so they can see, you know, how both people got started in it, and they get to know us. And then on Thursday, the video at noon or early afternoon, whatever it is going to be Kinsley sharing what is coaching and how you can do it too, talking about BOD and Shakeology and how you can fit it into your day, and all of basically the ins and out of what you do as a coach. And then the last video, again, this is just how I do it, but the last video will be Thursday evening, and that is how we make an income. And I break it down into 3 or 4 different ways, because we have bonuses, we have commission, we have that residual income, we have gifts and trips, all that good stuff. And then I talk about registration. I don't list off all the billions of different bundle options we have. I kind of talk about the 2 basic ones, and then say if you have, you know, other specific goals, there are so many other options for you we can chat about. But I do like to give them a price point, so that they have an idea, you know, of what they're going to be paying right away, of course. And something I've learned, and a lot of people, and I find this funny, that they get thrown off by the $15.95 fee every single month, which is just so, I don't know, cheap in retrospect to compare to everything else. But mentioning that and mentioning, you know, everything that they're going to get in their bundle is usually a good idea too. And then I always say at the end of that 4th video that registration is officially open. I usually give a deadline just so it creates that sense of urgency. You know, if I say, okay, registration is open officially now, it will close Sunday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. If someone signs up with me on Monday and I think they're going to be a good fit, am I going to say, no, you missed the deadline? Absolutely not. But you want to create that sense of urgency too, so that people know, okay, I do need to get going on this if this is something that I want to do. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, when you're first starting, I threw this in the bottom. It's okay to watch your upline and recreate their script, but once you get in the groove, you have to make it your own. So when I first started, I literally watched Jill's and Angie's sneak peeks. I sat at my computer, like typing everything that they said. And then I went back and I was like, okay, I'm just going to recreate this. I'm going to spew out this information. And then when I was doing my sneak peeks, I was just sitting at my computer staring like this, just reading off the script. Like, super not cool, but at the same time, I needed to start somewhere. It got me out there. It got me going. From there, you're going to get more comfortable doing it. You can even like practice, obviously, on the side, you know, what you're going to say and get more comfortable that way. But from there, create your own scripts. The wording has to be how you talk, not how I talk, not how Jill talks, whoever your upline is. And so just make sure that once you feel comfortable doing it, you start putting it into your own words. Step 7 is showtime. So again, I love to let people know in advance when I'm hopping on or posting my videos. I'll do like a little, just post in there, hey, 30 minutes video's going up, or I'm hopping on live in 30 minutes, GIF party below if you're going to be on with me, or whatever it is. So that just so that they get that notification, kind of like what we do for team calls and national wake up calls, we always continue to remind people about it just so that they know, okay, this is coming. I share an agenda. I already talked about that. Post 30 to 60 minutes in advance, like I just said. But then when it is actually showtime, whether you're posting your recorded video or you're doing your live, you need to go in with full confidence, whether you are confident or not. If this is your first one, no one knows that. Act like you have a team of 1,000 coaches. You are making millions of dollars. You've done this several times, whether or not you have or are. Just because that's going to portray to people like, okay, this is a legit business. This looks awesome. I want to be a part of this. Have so much energy. If you need to drink Energize before, that's usually what I do. If you need your glass of wine, whatever it is, like do it so you have so much energy. You're over the top, excited. If that's not your personality, at least make it so you know it looks like you're excited about what you're presenting. You don't want to be sleepy and you don't want to be boring and monotone, because that's not going to excite people. No one wants to be a part of a boring group. So just make sure that you're super excited about what you're doing and what you're sharing, because you should be. You are excited about it. This is, you know, something that you love, obviously, because you're still here and you're still doing it. This is just an example of an agenda. I'll post couple different time zones in there, only because Kinsley's in Eastern and I'm in Central, but this just, they know these are when the videos are going up so they can be ready for it. And then I'll just let them know after that 4th video goes up that registration is going to open, so that they need to be ready for that. And this is something I just created on Canva or PicMonkey. I don't really remember which one. Step 8, after your sneak peek webinar, whatever it is done, you need to make sure you have the steps to follow up. You need to contact everyone with a thank you, whether or not they introduce themselves, whether or not they showed up for your lives or your videos. Still contact them with a thank you, because maybe they forgot it was going on. And if you're having that other point of contact with them, that might remind them, oh my gosh, I totally forgot to watch those videos. And it just shows the professionalism that you have, that you're following up with everyone, that you do care about them. You want to know what they thought. Do this within 24 to 48 hours for sure, 48 max. Just so that, again, they know that you're there for them and you're showing up for them. If they don't respond, I usually follow up with them again after 1 week. Whether or not you do that through Facebook Messenger or through email, whatever it is, Instagram, however you first started talking to them, or whatever is easiest for you, follow up with them again after a week and just say like, hey, I don't know if you saw my last message or catch the videos, but wanted to let you know registration, closed, but I am hosting another sneak peek at this time, or whatever it is. Just continuing to follow up. We know the follow-up process is super important. And then continue to follow up monthly or until they block you, like we've talked about before. Go for the block, go for the no. So that's just another important step I wanted to throw in there. My last tips I have for you guys is share about coaching on your social media 3+ times per week. So this isn't even for an ad. This isn't for a shout out or whatever. It's just talking about the coaching opportunity, because if people don't know you're a coach, they're not going to be like, oh, what's this help wanted ad? She wants coaches. I didn't even know she was one. So just sharing with them what it's done for you. Talk about, obviously you might have a physical transformation with it, but obviously it could have helped your mental, emotional transformation. I battled depression alongside my anorexia. Jill battled depression. So many people have gone through so much crap, but then they became a coach and their life became so much better. Like Ashley Molstead was suicidal. She talks about that on her page. Emily Favre talks about, how she didn't have a job and, was super like depressed and lonely and all this stuff. Like they're talking about how much coaching has changed for them. Talk about where you see yourself going. Share your goals openly. Say, I see myself doing this full time. I'm super excited that I'm, taking the steps to do this. Talking about all those things and sharing them at least 3 times per week on your Instagram posts and your stories is going to give people kind of that FOMO and want them to be able and make them want to reach out to you when you do those posts. Also shouting out your team and your coaches on your Instagram stories or your clients. When someone rank advances, obviously shout them out on your social media, because that's going to look super cool to other people. Like, oh my gosh, she got a promotion. What? And sharing, like when Erin left her full-time job, whatever it is, like sharing all those cool things that your team does on your social media is another huge way just to create curiosity for other people and get them really excited and interested in what you're doing. And then, like I've been saying this whole time, always try new things. This business is always changing. So many things have changed from when I first started, maybe even just when you started a month or 2 months ago. And if that's changing, you also need to change with it. Otherwise, your business is going to just flatline. It's not going to go anywhere, just because the times are a-changing and we need to keep up with them. So just keep trying new things. If something doesn't work, don't give up. I'm not even going to go into that spiel because that's a whole other call, but you just need to make sure that, you are always giving it your best. And if that's what you're doing, then just keep pushing forward. So I think that's everything I wanted to say. If there's any questions, I kind of stopped looking at the chat, to be honest. But I will stop my share right now and I can see your guys' wonderful faces. See if there's any questions. Go for the block. Absolutely. 10 minutes or less. Yeah, that's usually for your videos or your lives is usually a good number. I don't think there's any questions, but I hope this was helpful. I know some of you guys have been on the team for a while. You've done sneak peeks, webinars, whatever it is. So hopefully there was something you were able to take away. Can we shout out our upline? Absolutely. First of all, thank you, Amanda. But no, I freaking talk about Jill all the time. Yeah. Suggestion on hashtags to use. Ooh, is this for like your shout outs, or just in general, Lola? Oh my gosh, actually, Kinsley shared this with me and I might have to get back to you on it, but there's like a hashtag generator. Shoot, I wish I remember what it was. Crap. I'll find it for you guys, but there's like, you type in a word. So let's say you are a dog mom, you can type in dog mom and it's going to give you like a set of 30 hashtags that you can use that you can just post right up, like super simple, super easy. Or if you're like clean eating freak or whatever it is that describes you, it comes up with 30 hashtags. Super, super nice. So yeah, I will ask Kinsley about that because I literally can't remember what it's called. Something generator. So that might be helpful for you. I can get you that if you want. Okay. Otherwise, just, you know, hashtags about what is about you, you know. If that is it, then you guys want to take our picture that we usually do, our boomerangs. I'm going to do it. So if you guys want to do it, let's do it. Ooh, almost dropped my phone. All right, you guys ready? I'll count down. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. And we'll do one more just in case. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Yay. Thank you guys so much for hopping on. It means the world. Thank you for watching the recording if you are. And if there's ever questions, just let me know. All right, you guys. Love you all. Bye, everyone.